Spooky Lou, another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you. It's almost time. This Saturday, we're days away. The trials are about to begin. Trials of Ascension, Episode 1, the series premiere, set to hit the WrestleRoni Plus YouTube channel this Saturday at 6:05. I couldn't be more excited. This has been a long time coming. Right here today, we're going to take a look at the origin of how this show came to be. I'll give you the inside scoop on some of the competitors. And yeah, man, we're going to have a good old time. It's been a while since me and you got to sit down and have a little chat one-on-one. And I think it's a perfect time to do so. A lot's been happening in Spooky Lou's life. I've had a change of perspective, if you will, on a few things. And learned a lot about myself in the process. So let's just get right to it, man. What's been going on in RSW land, West Virginia Independent Wrestling land, WrestleRoni land? What the hell's been going on behind the scenes? It's been a wild one. Trials of Ascension's coming up. We've already filmed the first 3 episodes. I've been to one weekend. Night 1, Mega Pro Wrestling, Dunbar, West Virginia. Night 2, PWL Pro Wrestling League Mid-Atlantic at the skating rink in Bluefield. And then just this past weekend, I was in Mannington for 2 shows at the Mannington Fair. It was Funnel Cakes and Forearms, Volume 2, and man, a lot went down there. Of course, I can't give away too much because there was a lot filmed on the show, and believe me, there's a lot of stuff I'd just love to put right out right now for you to see, but I think it'll be worth the wait. I really do. Trials of Ascension shaping up to be something special. And like I say, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. Let's just dive into it. Let's dive into it. So, last weekend, I'm on the road with Anthony Rucker. We head up to Mega Pro Wrestling. And let's just get into it, man. Earlier this year, I had a bit of a falling out with a fellow indie wrestling YouTuber. When we definitely went at each other on social media, had some words back and forth. And I got to give it to one Jeff James. He said, I know you guys are going to be working together this weekend. I think you guys need to put your difference behind you. He put us both in a group chat and made us work it out. And you know what? We did. We met up at Dunbar right before the show started. We shook hands, took pictures, said our side of the story, and I'm very happy to say everything's put behind us and we're on the same page. So hell yeah, I want to thank them for forgiveness. I want to thank Jeff for making that happen. That was very cool. I got to thank Jeff for the invite up to PWL to kind of let me do my thing for Trials of Ascension. This first episode wouldn't be the great episode it is without Jeff. So extra special thanks to Jeff. So yeah, that was a crazy weekend. The weekend before that, man, you talk about emotions, an emotional moment. I'm sitting there calling commentary on the Tag Team Championship match. And my boy Anthony Rucker wins it. I don't think a lot of y'all realize, me and Rucker's gotten pretty close. Me and him's on the road together just about every weekend. If there's an RSW show, I guarantee you, me and Rucker's the first ones there, and we're the last ones to leave. Nobody works harder than Anthony Rucker. And he's tagging with Air Duzan. Air Duzan, I have had the honor and privilege of chronicling his uprising on my channel. From the night he landed on his head at Fairmont State, getting thrown 2 rows back, to winning the RSW Junior Heavyweight Championship on a couple occasions, to his title defenses of my home promotion, our own promotion, EIW. And I got to be on the call when those two won the tag team championships. And man, you can hear the emotion in my voice. That's one of my favorite moments in wrestling ever. 2 dudes that deserve it, to work their asses off. And I know it meant a lot to both of them. It meant a lot to me, man. If you haven't watched the match, please do me a favor. Get on the channel. Do yourself a favor. Just check it out. Even if you got to fast forward to the end, it's a great match. But man, Rucker's so excited. He hops up on the stage and starts jumping, kills the hard cam. Hard cam tripod fell over. That's on me. I should have learned to anchor that bad boy a little bit better, but I thought it was safe. But yeah, it fell over. And I'll tell you a really scary story. So he knocks it over. I'm like, oh man, it's not recording when I pick it up. So whenever I go to check the footage back, because I'm nervous, I don't even wait till I get home. I bring it up on the touch screen there, and it gives me a question mark where the file should be. I'm like, oh no. So it says, do you want us to try to repair the file? I hit yeah. Man, I was nervous as hell. It repaired the file. I told Rucker the pro wrestling gods were looking out for him. That was good stuff. Just something I wanted to mention because it, in my book, an important wrestling moment. Like I say, me and Rucker have become very, very tight. I think he'd tell you the same thing. And I couldn't be prouder of the dude. Like I say, he's worked his ass off since day one. Another one that I'm so fortunate enough to chronicle their uprising in the business. No doubt in my mind, he'll be on TV. Duzan will be on TV. A lot of these guys you'll see on Trials of Ascension are destined for bigger and better things. I guarantee you that. On this episode, I want to go through each name that was going to be featured, and I want to tell you what I know about them, what to expect from them. We're going to run down the names. We got some fan questions. Before we get into all that, I guess we better talk about how Trials of Ascension came to be. Where the hell did this even come from? Where was the idea? What happened? Let's shoot. Bang, bang. I'm with somebody that made EIW happen. And they looked at me and they told me, they said, EIW's dead. I said, oh. But as a sort of make good, not that I was owed anything. EIW was an honor and privilege. But they knew that would sting. And it did. Because, believe me, those two shows, some of the best shows of my life. And they knew it would sting, and it did. It sucked. But as some sort of make good, I would get my own show where I could show the talent coming up in West Virginia. Because believe me, that was the vision for AIW. It was to create new stars. I knew there was a wealth of talent in West Virginia. I wanted to take some of these young guys, give them a platform. And I think with just two shows, we did that. I think we did that for a few guys. Tyler Rossfield, you bum. Anyway, we'll get into him in a little bit. But yeah, those shows meant a lot to me. And so if I can carry on that vision to Trials of Ascension, that's exactly what we're going to do. And it took some months of plotting and figuring out the title, what it was going to be. And we're there. Like I say, we've already filmed shows. I have a vision, and it's coming together. And I tell you what, man, do I have some talent around me. Let's just dip into some of these names, go through the list. Let's talk about it. Let me bring it up here, and let's talk about it. Right out the gate, I'll call him right now. I call him in the car. It's an inside joke. Let's say it on the podcast. My golden goose is Anthony Rucker, my homie. He's going to lead us to the promised land, no doubt in my mind. Like I say, just won the tag team titles. The dude is not even a year in. I was there when he made his debut at Fairmont State. I was there to announce that he was the WrestleRoni Breakout Star of the Year at EIW Reindeer Games after he defeated Logan Taylor. The sky's the limit, man. I love the dude to death, and I'm so glad he's on board for this. Believe me, no one's working harder than he is at this. We got Air Duzan. Again, I was there, Fairmont State. He gets launched 2 rows back. I thought he was hurt. I thought he was out of the match. He came back and put on one hell of a performance. Ever since then, it's just rise. I have never seen anyone catch on and catch fire and get momentum and catch on with the fans like Air Duzan has. Even if there's new fans at that show that don't know who Air Duzan is, they're cheering him by the end of the show. Could not be happier to have this dude involved. Let's talk about AJ Evans. AJ Evans, whenever I did the Halloween special, he said, can I send you a little bit of something? I said, sure. And from there, I said, come on into EIW. Another dude that's down to grind, work his ass off, improves every time I see him. Couldn't be happier to have him involved. What about Drew Ryan's The Wiz Can? You might not see him on the first episode or the second episode in a match, but another guy that's there after the show, busting his ass, moving boards, moving the ring, not leaving until the job's done. That's why I believe he deserves a spot. The same for Sam Handyman. He's going to be in episode 1 against Muscles Gatton. Holy crap. What a phenomenal match and two phenomenal talents. Sam Handyman, another hard-working dude. They're putting in work, isn't leaving the show until the ring's put up, doing his part and then some. Muscles got an attitude, but Muscles is undeniable right now. I hate to say it. The dude gives me shit all the time. The dude's undeniable. Just wait till you watch this match. He's a powerhouse. His cardio's on point. His charisma's on point. Believe me, a whole different Muscles than we was watching this time last year. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. We got the gym class hero, Paul Bryant's going to be featured in the future. Another one that, since before he was even in RSW, before he was even on WrestleRoni, he was helping the cause. He was sharing. He was commenting. He was doing his part to help us, even though I wasn't doing a damn thing for him. He just wanted to help. That means something in my book, so he's got a spot. Marcus Mayhem will be on in the future. Another dude out here, I see him busting his ass in the gym, working his ass off, working on his promos, asking folks what he can do to be better. The dude wants it. Glad to have him a part of this. I'm losing my voice. Bear with me. Chase Bennett. You'll see him in tag team action on the second episode. If you're a long-time listener of the podcast, you kind of know mine and Chase's history. If you don't, let's break it down real fast. We were going to bring in Chase Bennett for EIW Reindeer Games to take on Anthony Rucker. And politics got involved. Some folks above me didn't like some folks above him. I joked and I said, me and him's the Romeo and Juliet of wrestling. Our families are just trying to keep us apart from each other. And so anytime I can get the Mega or somewhere where I can work with him and film him, always a privilege. And never say never on getting him in RSW. Hope to have that happen real soon. Until then, we'll have him on Trials of Ascension. I'll be damn glad to have him because dude is a hell of a worker in the ring. His promos are fire. Glad to have him involved. You got me. I'm just going through the list alphabetically and shoot names. Me. I mean, in case you're new to the podcast, let's document where the hell I came from. I've kind of dibble-dabbled in the West Virginia scene here and there in the early 2010s, and then I was pretty focused on my shitty job and starting up a family and everything, so I went to shows, but I wasn't participating. I was a fan, and I was happy to be that way. Until I went to an RSW show a few years back, and I was really impressed with the product they had. And me and Tim got to talking, and for the past 2 years, I've run the WrestleRoni podcast, having all kinds of guests on here. Not only doing that, shooting footage for RSW, being the roaming cam guy. I'm editing that footage. I'm interviewing our stars. Currently, just put me on commentary. I'm having a great time with that. If anybody's living their dream, I am. I promise you that. I never thought I'd see the day, and believe me, if you know me, you know I'm not here to make money, man. I would like to leave my mark. I'll admit that, and I think that's what we're going to do with this new show. We're definitely going to leave our mark, and that's the game plan. Recently, I haven't been myself. I said that, and like I said, making up with the YouTuber earlier. This year, it's been back and forth with Lane Callie all year. And after the deal at Mega, and I felt really good after making up with that YouTuber. And it did. It lifted a weight off my shoulders. It wasn't just her. It was her husband, her friends. I had a lot of folks pissed at me. And after shaking hands and everything I did, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I felt a lot better. So I thought, you know what? Tomorrow night in Bluefield, after I film Lane Callie and Yellow Man, I'm going to apologize to Lane. We don't have to work together. We don't have to be friends. But I am going to apologize to him and try to make things right. Tune into episode 1 to see how that turned out. That's all I'm going to say on that. Evan Golden is in the main event of this episode, defending the Eastern Tennessee Heavyweight Championship against Alfie Kessler. Evan Golden has been on the show twice in the past. Highly encourage you to check out those podcasts just so you can see what this cat's about. He was one that I came across this stuff on social media. I said, this dude's good. This dude's going to be somebody. I got to get him on the podcast before he blows up. And you know what? Since that first podcast, Evan Golden's been proving me right. Like I say, he's facing Alfie Kessler. We recently had him on the podcast. Talk about a contrast in styles. Compare those podcasts. Alfie's a character, and I'm so glad to have him as part of this. He's different, and in the best way. In the best way. He's caught fire since he hit the ground running. Since his debut match, folks have been in his corner, and another guy that improves every time I see him in the ring, and just a unique cat. So wait till you see this main event between him and Evan Golden. You're going to have fun. FC by God Mason. Another one we brought in for EIW and gave an opportunity, and by God, he took that opportunity and ran with it. Recently had a banger with Kryzak for the RSW Eastern Continental Championship. One of my favorite matches this year was him and Tyler Rossfield up at Skidder Modes for Mayhem on the Mountain 3. This dude makes me proud. It's not that I trained him or I birthed the man, but we gave him an opportunity, and by God, he's showing the world what he can do. Couldn't be prouder of this guy. Glad to have him involved with this, believe me. Lane Cali. You know, it was around this time, probably the fall of last year. Lane Cali dropped a promo. His first promo I saw on social media. I believe PWL or somebody shared it. I was like, whoa, I like this guy. I try to introduce myself at shows. He's an arrogant prick. I get him on the podcast, try to talk things out. He's a bigger prick. July 4th, he attacks me in front of my wife and kids. We've had plenty of back and forth on the internet. So this guy's a thorn in my side. Unfortunately, he's really good. And if I can film his matches and put them on here, unfortunately, he has fans that watch too. There's a reason him slapping me in the face has 95,000 views on Facebook. Lane Cali's equal in ratings right now, unfortunately, so I have to work with the prick. And believe me, there's a part of me that likes working with this prick and making his job just that much harder. And part of Trials of Ascension is going to be putting Lane Cali through hell, as much hell as I possibly can. And you'll see what I mean. He's being put through the trials if anybody is. We've discussed Rucker, we've discussed OK, we've discussed Sam Handyman. Tyler Rossfield. A man that I considered a friend. A man that I feel confident in saying I gave an opportunity and that opportunity paid off for him. Let's go back to that Halloween special I was talking about. I asked folks to send in promos. Tyler Rossfield sent in something different, and I liked it. So when we started up EIW, that was the first guy I wanted. And he impressed the hell out of me. He's really good. He's really good. Me and him was gravy. Then he hooked up with Lane Cali. And he forgot about what old Lou did for him. He forgot about me looking out for him. And so, yeah, we're going to put Tyler Rossfield through the trials as well, believe me. And last but not least, for now at least, there'll be plenty of names added in the future. We got Gen Z. Another one that was recently on the podcast. Another one that I had a world of faith in. The dude's only 19, but been in the wrestling business for 5 years already. And everybody you talk to says he works his ass off. He gets better. He's a hell of a talent. But he's also another one that stomped me out in front of my family and kids. So, my family are my kids, right? See, they got me flustered. My wife and my kids. So he's another one I got beef with. So he's another one that I will do my very best to make his life a living hell. Trials of Ascension this Friday. You got 4 matches to look forward to. You got promos. Match number 1. Anthony Rucker takes on a man that I respect, that I have an utmost amount of respect for, and Violent Vance Desmond. If you're new to the podcast, I'll give it to you real quick. I've told the story a million times, but let me just explain to you my respect for Vance Desmond. It was 2004 in a sports bar in Fairmont, West Virginia. I've been to plenty of West Virginia pro wrestling shows, indie wrestling shows, and usually it was some big guys lumbering around, and maybe you get a table bump, and that'd be the cool moment of the night. Violent Vance Desmond and Zach Vincent went out there and gave me an X Division ROH work rate match, 20 minutes to a half hour, and I was like, holy shit, there is hope for us after all. And after that, I would go shows in Clarksburg, Shinston, different places. And there he was, never lost a step, only got better. So to be able to work with this dude, even though he may not have the best attitude and isn't the greatest to the fans or the fan favorites, it's a pleasure and honor to work with this guy. So I'm super excited to have him in the opening match of Trials of Ascension. You'll see how that goes. Second match will be Sam Handyman. Love the dude. Against Muscles. And contrast the styles. That was at the Taylor County Fairgrounds during the Taylor County Fair. So you get the fair vibe to it. Really fun one. And then we have a double main event, if you will, from PWL last weekend in Bluefield. You got Lane Cali against Yellow Man Part 2. I'll put the link in the description to their first match from about a year ago. Both men have changed a lot since then. Me and Yellow Man go back. My first weekend on the road, I met Yellow Man. He didn't have to be cool to me. He didn't know me from Adam. But he was. Anytime I see Yellow Man at a show since, I'm like, hey, Yellow, maybe we can cut a promo later for the channel. Shit, Lou, let me put my bag down. We'll do it right now, baby. Every time. Respect the hell out of Yellow Man. Yellow Man is my friend. And he's going to kick Lane Cali's ass. I promise you that. Second part of that double main event. Eastern Tennessee Championship on the line. Champion Evan Golden defended against Offie Kessler. There's a reason this is the main event. This is the reason. There's a reason it main evented that card. I told anybody that would listen how good Evan Golden was. I knew how good Evan Golden was. I thought I knew how good Offie Kessler was until this match. Offie Kessler hit some other level in this match. He held his own. You're going to see how it plays out, man. And then afterwards, after that match, don't turn it off. I promise you don't want to turn it off, because that's when I'm going to have my little talk with Lane Cali, and you'll see how that goes. So yeah, man, I think you got a lot to look forward to. Trials of Ascension, my goal is we start where we're at. I'm 2 years in. A lot of these guys are in their first year, so many years. We start where we're at. I know so much with editing and production. I only have so much equipment. You know how the audio can be at times, right? I think as we progress and we ascend, the production will ascend. I know in my heart of hearts these athletes will ascend. The stories will get better. We'll lose some of these guys to TV. I'm saying it right now. This isn't going to be like unauthorized or this or that. This is a show that will go on as long as this YouTube channel goes on. And believe me, the success we've been having lately, there ain't no slowing us down. We ain't stopping anytime soon. There's a lot of events that we're going to be filming at. We've got the big RSW 7-year anniversary show coming up. We got we're going to be back in Buchanan. PWL has shows coming up. There's a lot of great stuff going on at the area, and believe me, I'm going to be with the cameras, getting what I can for this show. It's my goal. Like I say, I've said it a million times. I want to document what is going on in West Virginia wrestling. I want to put it on the channel so it's there for years to come for people to see. And this isn't just your average wrestling show. Look at it more of as a documentary. Sure, there'll be matches, and it's going to look, it might look like a wrestling show to you. But After the first 3 episodes, I think you'll get what we're going for. It's going to take us a minute to cook. Now, don't get me wrong. We're cooking out the gate. But it's going to take you a minute to see what's going on, to see the big picture. This is my shot to not only leave my fingerprints, but to help these super talented guys and gals leave their fingerprints. And I am very, very confident in what we're going to do. I have assembled one hell of a crew. And believe me, I'm testing them in more ways than you think. I'm testing them in more ways than they even think. Some are passing with flying colors. Some are a little stuck. We'll see who makes it. We'll see who makes it. That's about all I got. There's been a lot going on. Like I say, I haven't been in my right frame of mind in the past few months. That's okay. But I think we're on track. Let's get to these fan questions. Let's see what the fans have to write in. And then we'll call this a show. What we got? All right. Anthony Wayne Burge Jr. Oh boy, this should be good. Lou, did you check into Hotel California? Lane Cali will host you, chump. Okay. First off, cool Eagles reference, dork. And ask Lane Cali if I checked in. Ask him. You tagged him. I don't see a response from him, so I think he knows. Thomas Mimes writes in, if Jimmy cracked corn and no one cared, then why in the hell did they make a whole damn song about it? That's really too deep for this show. I'll just say there's plenty of dumber songs out there. James Curry writes in, I like this. Why aren't you nominated for Man of the Year yet and won? And you know what? That's a good point. I should at least be nominated. I'm not sure who's doing the nominations, but I think I'm doing all right. I think I'm busting my ass and doing what I can for wrestling in general, but especially the West Virginia independent wrestling scene. As far as James Curry, you want to know something crazy? He's a part of WVWF. Remember those guys? Yeah, man. Hey, is what it is. Sometimes you can move on. And no beef with those guys. I'm glad they're doing well. You know that? They're doing well. They're doing their thing up in Parkersburg. Sure, we've said a few things about them on the podcast here and there, that and this. But I tell you what, when the going got really tough for Spooky Lou and lines started getting crossed, that opened my eyes to the bigger picture. Wrestling's not everything. Maybe it's none of my business what they're doing. But I have to give it to those guys. A few of them reached out, including Mr. Curry, and they told me they felt it was pretty screwed up what these idiots were doing to me and how those lines were crossed. And that really helped me mentally. That showed me that it doesn't matter what team you're on, what promotion you're on. If you're a father and you can relate to what I went through, then God bless you. It really meant a lot for those guys to reach out to me. So nothing but respect to WVWF in Parkersburg. And one of these days, shoot, I'd like to get some of those guys on Trials of Ascension. I'd welcome them on the podcast. Never say never. So yeah, man, like I say, I think we're in a really good place. I'm in a good place mentally. Sure, I have some distractions in the form of some whiny, needy children. I think I can deal with that. A few weeks ago, I about did something really, really stupid. I was on social media. I said I was going to beat Lane Cali's ass as soon as he turned up to the venue. I told him, I may not be a professional wrestler, but I've been in plenty of fights, and I've won more than I've lost. And he came right back at me. He said, sure, tough guy. Sure, you're some big tough guy. You're soft, Lou. He also said I was turning the spotlight on myself when I was pretending to spotlight all these the talent in West Virginia. And he called my bluff. He got the win. I took the L, and I admitted it. Right after that, I get a text from Tim saying you touch him on July 25th or whenever the day was, you're going to get fired. So they both shook me up. I didn't mind the legal ramifications of, beating Lane Callie's ass. But when I sat back and thought of losing what I have at RSW, I couldn't sacrifice it, man. I really couldn't. The locker room's been too good to me. Tim's been too good to me. I'm literally living my dream because of RSW. Sure, WrestleRoni has plenty of subscribers. I'll be doing fairly okay without RSW, but I wouldn't be who I am without RSW. So I couldn't lose that. So I had to behave myself. I sat there on commentary. I called his match while he ran his mouth to me. But believe me, I knew what I was doing when I headed to PWL. I knew there was no rule in place, and I knew PWL management would pretty much let me do whatever the hell I wanted to do without any repercussions. So, originally I thought I'd go up there and fight, and then after the night in Dunbar, I said, you know what? Let's just try to put this behind us and move on, and I'll apologize. Again, tune into episode 1, see how that turns out, and you'll see where we're going forward. Can't thank you enough for sitting through this bad boy. I really hope you tune into Trials of Ascension this Saturday at 6. Tell your friends. I promise you, this is something special. I've always said my dream's not to go to WWE or AEW. My dream is to make my own WWE or AEW in the hills of West Virginia. And that sounds crazy as shit. I know that. That is a super big dream. It's fairly far-fetched, maybe. I wouldn't be saying it on a podcast if I didn't think it was possible. I know what we're capable of. I know what I'm capable of. I know my drive. I know what I want. We got one shot at this, fellas, ladies, everybody in between. And I'm going to make the damnedest. I'm going to give it my best shot I can. I'm going to leave my fingerprints somehow. And I know there's a lot of guys a part of this show, a part of WrestleRoni, a part of RSW, a part of PWL, a part of Mega Pro, a part of West Virginia wrestling and independent wrestling in general. I'll tell you what, if you're listening to this, you're not in West Virginia, and you think your match should be on Trials of Ascension, starting with episode 3, I think we should start taking viewer submissions. I think we should start taking video from outside of the West Virginia scene. We've had great matches from guys like Tyler Rose in Canada, like my boy Jay Master in Argentina, like my boy Phil Picasso in Australia. Here's your opportunity. This show's going to have some eyes on it. From the hype alone, it's going to have some eyes on it. You want to get in on that? Send me your footage. Let's see what you got. Starting with episode 3, we will at least have one match from outside the area. So yeah, I think you got some news out of that. I'm sure I'm forgetting a million things I wanted to say. That's fine. We'll cover it eventually. Just do your thing, man. There's a lot of guys out here busting their ass, looking out for me, and I'm trying to look out for them. And I think it's all going to come together. That perfect storm I'm talking about, it hits land. It hits land this Saturday at 6:05. And from there on, let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. In the meantime, I want you to go out there and live your dreams. I want you to do what you want to do in life. Don't take no shit from nobody. You know that. Don't take no shit. Stand up for yourself, but at the same time, treat each other with kindness and respect. That's all I want from you. And I would like it if you tuned in. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. This is the time, man. This isn't just for me, and I'm not just saying that. A lot of folks are counting on this, and I really think we can make this something special. 6:05 this Saturday, the most important thing I have done to date. Hit you right in your face. It's going to smack you around, and you're going to wonder what the hell happened. And then you're going to be ready for episode 2. And episode 2 is even crazier than episode 1, and episode 3 is even crazier than episode 2. Wait till you see. Stay tuned to the Roni. Plenty more stuff coming down the pike. I'm sitting on a stockpile of footage. we was doing all this recording for Trials of Ascension, but you know what? There's a few rules in place, man. We can't have current RSW champions on Trials of Ascension because they're pretty much at the top of the ladder right now, right? So, unfortunately, no Logan Taylor. No, I don't know. I think we can put the tag champions in there because, they're the kind of the guys right now that's still ascendant. So, I let the tag champions get in there. Unfortunately, no Dustin Alexander, but rumor has it he's coming to the podcast really soon. So, you got that to look forward to. You'll get what I'm trying to do if you just watch the episodes. I'm confusing you more and I'm making it make sense. I got you. I'm wrapping it up. I love you. Thank you so much for the support. The past few weeks, the channel has done better than it ever has, and that's because of you. I appreciate the hell out of you. You don't know how much you mean to me. This shit's crazy. This shit is crazy. I wake up every day thinking, that was a crazy dream. Nah, we're living this, and I couldn't thank you enough for coming along on this journey for me and supporting me and all that y'all do. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I love you to death. We're just getting started. I promise you that. We're just getting started. I kind of got my feet beneath me now. I kind of know where I stand. I understand how things work better than I did before. We're in a good place, I assure you that. We've never been in a better place. And if you don't believe me, the proof will be in the pudding this Saturday at 6:05. Trials of Ascension, Episode 1. Be there.